Tonight, the International Criminal Court is pushing back against U.S. pressures to halt its war crime investigations into Israel and Afghanistan. You're watching Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ilya Batul. The Supreme Court of Canada will hear a historical challenge to Quebec's secularism law, Bill 21. The hearing will begin March 23rd, with 5 days set aside for arguments. The law was introduced in 2019 and bars teachers, police officers, judges, and other authority figures from wearing religious symbols in public roles. It is shielded by Quebec's use of the Charter's notwithstanding clause. Ottawa is intervening, urging the court to set new limits on how provinces can override fundamental rights. Rights advocates say Bill 21 violates freedoms of religion and expression. They say it especially targets Muslim women under the guise of secularism and gender equality. Legal experts say the ruling could reshape minority rights across Canada and redefine the future use of the notwithstanding clause. The challenge comes as Quebec has recently tabled a new version of this bill, Bill 9, that extends the ban on prayers in public spaces and hijab in daycare. 2026 FIFA World Cup draw has unfolded in Washington, with Canada placed in Group B for the tournament. The star-studded event was attended by Prime Minister Mark Carney, U.S. President Donald Trump, and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. Canada will face Qatar, Switzerland, and the winner of a European playoff featuring Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, or Bosnia and Herzegovina. The first ever World Cup match on Canadian soil will be taking place in Toronto on June 12th, with Canada opening against the playoff winner at BMO Field. If Canada tops its group, the team will stay in Vancouver for the knockout rounds. Mayor Olivia Chow has announced the city has received the highest number of volunteer applications among all host cities. Officials say hosting will create huge economic opportunities as the tournament is the biggest event Canada has ever hosted. Somali communities across North America say they feel insecure and live in fear after U.S. President Donald Trump's latest racist attack, calling Somalis garbage. The concerns come as U.S. authorities prepare targeted immigration operations in Minnesota. The state is home to the country's largest Somali population. Community advocates in Canada and the U.S. warn the rhetoric is fueling harassment, detentions, and fears of violence. Western Canada has a notable Somali diaspora, and many fear the injustice unfolding across the border could spill over into their own communities here at home. Local leaders say Trump's remarks are dehumanizing a community that has long contributed to economic and cultural life in both countries. The International Criminal Court has rejected U.S. demands to halt its war crimes investigations into Israel and Afghanistan, and to change in the Roman Statute to shield citizens of non-member states. The decision follows a meeting of the Assembly of States parties in The Hague. Members have reaffirmed the court's independence and raised serious concerns over U.S. sanctions on ICC prosecutors, judges, and civil society groups. Diplomats say Washington is pressuring states to block investigations and grant immunity to American and Israeli nationals. The move would also affect cases involving Russia. Instead, member states have issued a joint declaration rejecting any form of coercion. ICC officials have put confidential countermeasures in place as 9 sanctioned staff face travel bans and financial restrictions. Among them is Canadian Judge Kimberly Prost, targeted for authorizing probes into U.S. actions in Afghanistan. Judges say the court will not abandon its work, including investigations into Israeli war crimes. The ICC says it will continue pursuing cases in Palestine, Ukraine, Afghanistan, and other conflict zones as the world's only independent court for prosecuting international crimes. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.